So today I want to talk to you about a framework called the Horsemen Framework. And what it's set to do is really collect data and have your website visitors actually create the most perfect ads for you. So I remember as a kid watching movies about, knights and Camelot and like those olden days. I fell in love with those things and I loved it. And I remember remembering how we'll say there was a king, and the king had these knights, and he had this area that he patrolled, and he would send out his people, and there was a couple things that were happening. So one, it allowed his presence to be there with his soldiers or his knights. And it also gave the knights an opportunity to collect stuff that was going on in those villages and those things. So today I want to show you a diagram on how to set up that type of formula or that type of framework where you can have basically a presence everywhere and collect data so that you can run the perfect ads. Let me show you inside this diagram. So I thought the best way to describe the Four Horsemen Framework is actually kind of give you a visual representation of what this looks like. So we're gonna start off to the left over here, and we have a website, right? So we have visitors that come to our website, and maybe they purchase, maybe they don't purchase, but ultimately they leave our website and they go out into the world, and the first place they go is Google. Now inside of Google, what they do is they come over here and they start searching search terms, right? Now search terms that are relevant to your product or service. For the first step of the framework is actually to have one of my horsemen on Google saying that if someone comes from my website and they go into Google search and they start searching some search term that is relevant, that I put in certain keywords that is relevant to my product or service, I want to make sure that I show up and I'm present when they're typing these things in. Now, one of the great benefits is, yes, you're retargeting, so you're kind of always going to be present for them. But the other piece is now you're collecting this data. And inside of this collection of data, you're actually collecting the exact search terms that they're searching up. So maybe you have, if we're using an analogy of furniture, maybe you have some type of furniture that you're selling. They don't buy from your website, they go on to Google and now they type in bedroom furniture. But maybe it's more like Victorian bedroom furniture. So now I can see the exact words that they're typing in, which my ad will show up, but now I can use that data to later on better either create content or better serve the ad. So now let's say our person now goes and he travels and he says, you know what? I am going to travel across the World Wide Web. Now he's visiting websites all over the internet. And let's say I have my established second horseman established all over the internet. And this is a display ad. So anywhere he travels that has a Google partnership that allows ads, my ad can show up. Now, one of the greatest assets of this is now I know exactly where they're going. The data allows me to see exactly where my ads are going. Now I've been able to extract exactly the search terms that they're using. I can see now exactly the websites they're visiting. So maybe there are, if I'm looking at, different websites or blogs, maybe they're relevant to my product or service, where I can find more of my ideal client. All right, but now let's say our visitor from our website now travels over to social media. Now let's say inside the social media, we have our third horseman set up here. Now, what's good about this is, yes, because we have a warm audience, now we can kind of see, this could be a good testing ground to say, all right, what headlines convert the best, or what images and videos can I use that my current warm audience visitors are clicking on or being more interacting, and I can see what are the highest performing pieces of content to use for later on in the future as I'm prospecting. So now let's say our visitor, he leaves social media and he also travels to YouTube. Now with our fourth horseman established inside of YouTube, We can see exactly what channels they're searching, what search terms they're looking up, even what videos they're looking up. And this is another great place where I can collect this content. I'm also present for my retargeting, but it gives me the ability to maybe even discover new channels that maybe my other ideal client are going. What's important about this whole framework here is that it allows you to, one, see exactly what people are searching. You can see where they're going on what websites. You can test headlines and images to get the highest performing. You can even see search channels, search terms, videos. You can see everything that they're going. And ultimately, it provides you the perfect ad formula so that I can use the correct words, I can use the correct placements, and I can also use the ideal creative. And with this 4 Horsemen framework, it is evergreen and it allows you to collect data, be present, retarget, and ultimately give you the highest performing ads. And that is the 4 Horsemen framework.